Mississauga's Glenerin Inn has lived a full life since being built in 1927. Upon entering its doors, you can immediately sense the history of the building, and some people believe they also sense spirits. There have been reports of a ghostly man being seen by the fireplace. General Manager Jason Mercier told us about an employee who had a terrifying experience in one of the inn's cozy bedrooms.
One of our service staff, about 8 years ago, had to stay over one night because he worked late and had to come back in the morning. So he stayed in one of our rooms, and just before he was about to nod off, he felt the presence, I guess more or less, hug him and tuck him in before he was about to nod off. And he felt it wasn't, I guess, our janitor or cleaner ghost. It was more of a, I guess, a good night hug before going to bed. Yes.
Wow. Now, I always call myself an open-minded skeptic. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, you said he was nodding off, and he might have been sort of entered that sort of dreamy kind of state. Mm-hmm. But you mentioned to me before that he also felt like a woman was like...
He'd said that he had felt longer hair. So, you know, he'd heard stories about the janitor ghost, and he felt a different presence, I guess. And it was, I guess, more of a female presence.
During World War II, the building's original owners, the Evans family, allowed nuns and schoolgirls from England escape the fighting by staying in the inn. Could one of the nuns still be caring for souls, laying down for a good night's sleep? You go back to that era where there were so many young ladies here and the teachers and stuff like that, and you sort of imagine those teachers tucking the girls in at night, because, I mean, they're not just away from home, they're away from their countries. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine those girls would need quite a lot of nurturing.
They were a long way from home. You know, I think it was a very kind of tragic time as well, where, you know, you're uprooted from your home and you have to go basically across the world. So this is the room where our service member had an experience, a ghostly experience.
It's very cozy in here. I didn't want to say anything downstairs, but I heard a little while we were setting up, and I kind of stopped and turned around and I went, what was that? And I didn't give it any thought because, you know, people are walking around and stuff like that. In about 20 years of looking into the paranormal stories and stuff like that, that was the first time I ever heard anything that made me pause. An apparition by the fireplace. Unexplained footsteps in an empty building under construction. Disembodied arms wrapping around an unsuspecting man turning in for the night. Is this just imaginations at work? Or is the Glenerin Inn home to spirits of the past? I believe that folklore always has a nugget of truth in it, and that this is what I mean about the little nuggets of truth, where someone actually does not go looking for a ghost story or a ghostly experience or something. It's just a guy at work who witnessed. Have you actually personally had?
I haven't been personally witnessed any ghost experience yet.
Are you a believer or no?
Yes. My grandmother lived in a home somewhat similar to this in Prince Edward Island. And when I go up to the rooms in our mansion, it reminds me a lot of that old home. And when I was younger, you know, I was always kind of scared of going up into the rooms upstairs, and, you know, you would hear things that would scare you a little bit. So, yes, I think I'm a believer, and I always have been.
Coming up on Ghosts of Mississauga, could the very fabric of the materials used to build the Glenerin Inn be the key to the hauntings?
This is a significant property with some great stories, and it highlights an aspect of Mississauga's history, and why not have a little ghost story of its own.